Here's meteorologist Stephen Jones.
Well, pretty much cloudy has been the story this Christmas Eve, and that's really what we're going to be seeing going into these overnight hours as well. Nicely, it did keep us pretty cool today in those 60s, only topped out at 61 degrees we were talking about. Of course, the sunset has come and gone by now, and we're already seeing those temperatures cool off pretty nicely going into the overnight hours. We're already in the mid-50s and lower 50s around the Concho Valley. 55 here in town, the same for Eden as well as El Dorado. Just a little bit warmer now towards the I-10 corridor, 59 there in Ozona, 62 for Junction, and then the coolest temperatures off to the north, 53 from Sterling City over through Ballinger. And when we're looking at those dew points and relative humidity indices, they're still pretty similar in the 50s and 40s around the area right now. The relative humidity indices anywhere from the 70s to the 50s when you work your way to the southwest. We're going to see those on the rise as well going into these overnight hours as the temperatures come down and get closer to those dew points in the 40s and 50s. As we're looking at that moisture tracker, we're going to see a little bit of a variable pattern going into these next couple of days. First, we're going to see this drier air moving in, a little bit of a southerly flow return, bring more moisture, and then another front brings that dry air right back in as we're going into Friday. Overall, temperature's not going to be too much affected, but we are maybe going to notice a little bit in terms of that when you go into the humidity values. Looking at the current satellite out there across the nation, you can see just the huge plume of moisture still really working in from Baja California and pushing up the Rocky Mountains towards Montana there and bringing some nice snow and rain with it. Of course, towards Texas, a good amount of cloud cover as well, but when we turn on the radar for it, you can see just all the snow working into Nevada, California, and really up through the Cascades as well. And when we zoom into Texas, we've got a tornado warning off well towards the east right now to the south of Dallas, it looks like, as some of those storms are getting pretty hefty, and that's going to be the trend that we see continue going into these overnight hours. So if you've got any family out east or any family that's traveling out east, might want to just keep that in mind. We're going to take a look at this on the Futurecast in just a minute, but first, the severe weather outlook going into Christmas Day doesn't look too bad out there. Just this general thunderstorm risk off towards the Panhandle as well towards the Gulf Coast there into Houston, but look at this going into Thursday. So maybe return travel. The bullseye is also East Texas once again. Just about a repeat of what we're seeing today is what it's looking like. That level 2 out of 5 risk anywhere from about Waco and College Station into that Shreveport, Louisiana area is what it's looking like. Houston into Dallas as well as Austin still in that level 1 out of 5 risk. So definitely want to be on the weather aware for some of that severe weather. Not typically what we see going into December, but we're still going to be ready for it, of course. Looking at the Futurecast model, we're going to see these storms really firing off going into these overnight hours here by 11:30. You can see barreling its way down towards the coast, quickly going to be moving off towards the coast in the Concho Valley. Some of that cloud cover making its return, but going in towards that noon hour tomorrow, quickly going to be moving out in contrast to what we saw today. We're going to be seeing that sunshine, but look at this by Thursday. This repeat is what I said of what we're looking at today. This strong system of storms right back towards East Texas could see more of those severe thunderstorm warnings going into Thursday. So if you're planning that return travel, just make sure to keep that in mind going into Thursday, of course. Into the overnight hours tonight, we're getting a little bit cooler into those mid and lower 40s across the Concho Valley, thanks to that north wind out of about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow it's going to turn right back out of the southeast, and we're going to be warming up a little bit more to 66 degrees. We're going to see more sunshine going into those overnight hours, and of course we've got that KSAN Santa tracker for you. We've been tracking him every hour. Let's see where he's at. I think he's been moving west, so let me get out of the way for you. Yes, of course, looks like he is made it to Paris, France so far, moving west pretty quickly from Afghanistan. We saw at 5 p.m. You can see got the Eiffel Tower there, so quickly going to be making his way to the United States, going to be wanting to get ready some of those cookies and milk, of course. And really, as we roll through the week ahead, post the big day, we're going to see that warm up starting to ensue by Friday. The 70s really make their return. The weekend, the mid 70s are here, and then I've got a little bit of bad news, but then some good news as well. 80s is what we're looking at by Monday, but it's going to be pretty warm, a little bit more summer-like. But then look at this by New Year's Eve into the